Daniel Gorak, 15-9 in singles. Again, both these guys and both these teams have phenomenal doubles records. So, I mean, that's the stage set. After today, Carolina's not going to have a chance to play against Florida until January, because in December, each of these teams are going to have 4 team matches over the course of one weekend, but they're all going to be against the West Division teams. And so, in terms of determining who will reign supreme in the East, this is the best head-to-head opportunity. Florida is 2-0 against Carolina this year. Beat them 13-8. Winning a Golden game 21-14 in September, and then they beat them 15-6. Also winning the Golden game 21-14 in October. Gorak will serve first. The Crocs and the Gold Rush. Here we go. Pretty good preview of what we're going to see.
Yeah, I think a lot of rallies at the mid-distance. We're going to see both players trying to open up into those more aggressive, open counter-looping situations.
1-1.
Daniel Gorak's gone 3-3 so far this weekend. Took 2 out of 3 from Jinxin Wang yesterday, or on Friday, I should say. That was yesterday.
Yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Friday was the
Provost
match. Yeah.
2-2.
What are the things that you are looking for early in the match to tell yourself which players at the higher level today?
That's actually a really good question. I think one of the takeaways is usually how Enzo's moving, whether he can get onto his forehand early in a point. He doesn't want to be stuck on his backhand too much, and usually once he gets onto his forehand, he plays great power, and a lot of the players have commented on this that have played against him. With Gorak, it's about not playing too much of the same pace, getting the first ball in solid and looking for the angles.
That's a forehand rally. Enzo Anglas just does not look uncomfortable at the table very often. Even when he's off balance, he still feels kind of comfortable. Still can get the sweet spot of the paddle on the ball. Again.
So one of the things that Sasha Hazine had done really well yesterday in his match was finding that forehand corner. Right now we're seeing Gorak really focusing most of his efforts on the backhand side. He's trying to keep Enzo maybe a little softer, a little more passive on the backhand side. He's probably going to need to switch some of the placements around when he has the opportunity.
Is this about who has more winners or who has fewer unforced errors?
I think, honestly, fewer unforced errors.
6-5.
Yeah, I mean, hitting winners is great, but I think these two are going to have longer rallies. So certainly don't want to have those short points where, I mean, like this, for example, these are points that you don't want to lose. so far in this first game, I think we've already seen a slightly higher percentage of those unforced errors from Daniel Gorak.
Nice power generated by Anglas. Enzo takes a look down at the paddle after that miss.
Gorak just rushing the timing a little bit on that follow-up. Great forehand flick there. Just reaching a little bit too much on the follow-up.
Anglas closing in on game 1. (11-6) for Carolina to get the day started off right.
The first game goes to the Carolina Gold Rush. Enzo Anglas takes game number 1. How's it going? You good? What's the name?
These are the top 2 picks in the inaugural MLTT draft. The order was determined by lottery. Carolina was number 1, Florida was number 2. We did not get to see these guys go head-to-head in September. The lineups were manipulated in a way where Enzo swept Mark Duran in singles, and Daniel Gorak was able to take 2 out of 3 from Laurence.
Yeah, you'd almost have to wonder if the teams want these two to play each other.
That is so cool. Where did you see it come up?
But I mean, this
The
is
fans
what.
want
Yeah,
it.
I was just going to say that. This is what the spectators want to see.
I didn't even know Facebook was still a thing. But
So a great start for Enzo Anglas, just really steady. Less unforced errors from him. I think
Come
he
to
was
the
solid,
table, please.
not overdoing it. Gorak, we definitely saw him with a few timing errors, clipping the top edge of his racket on a couple of occasions, overreaching.
And we did see Mark Duran play well against Roman Laurence a month ago. And that will be the matchup in the 4th singles spot. Those are the other AB players, the top 2 players from a ranking standpoint coming into today on their respective teams. Gorak takes the opening point here in game 2.
This time gets the ball out towards the forehand corner first. Enzo's a player that's quite comfortable in his backhand corner, and especially with the step around forehand. On the wide forehand, this is where you can really start to unbalance him a little bit. And as I said, Sasha Hazine did an exceptional job of that yesterday, which I think was one of the bigger factors in him winning.
4-0 lead for Gorak here in game 2. The interesting dynamic from the fantasy perspective is I think there's a lot of people who selected both of these players to be on their fantasy team. So how should they feel about watching Gorak and
I don't know,
Enzo?
Evan, how do you feel?
In some ways, you kind of wish they were not going against each other because there's a limited number of points to go for. But as a fan, outside of the fantasy implications,
5-1.
I wouldn't want this any other way.
Good to see Gorak's made some adjustments here in the second game, staying a little bit closer to the table, taking the ball a little bit more steady.
That, in a nutshell, is why I haven't played fantasy football in about 12 years. But the opportunity to take Sean O'Neill's lunch money in fantasy table tennis was just too much to pass up.
Enzo with another high-quality step-around forehand there. Got a softer opening loop there from Gorak.
3 straight for Anglas after falling behind 5-0. We saw this from him yesterday. That's nifty.
5-5.
Full commitment from Enzo on that one. As soon as Gorak touched the ball, Enzo knew the angle already.
Great stuff from Daniel Gorak after Enzo had won the last 5 points.
I think he's done a better job so far in the second game of keeping up on the table, but also finding that balance of staying in control and implementing some pressure.
5-7.
7-5.
A bit more vocal in what has so far been a relatively quiet match from these two.
It's early in the day, but the stakes are significant.
5-8.
It's a weird game. 5 in a row for Gorak, and Anglas answers with 5 straight, and now Gorak has scored the last 3.
Enzo really putting pressure on the backhand of Daniel Gorak. And they get it again.
5-0, 5-all, 8-5, 8-all. Where do we go from here?
Well, someone's getting 11. I don't know which one of them it's going to be, but
Anglas takes his first lead here in the second game. Already up 1-0.
bit of a soft serve return there from Gorak.
It's his second 5-0 run of the game. And he's got a few game points at 10-8.
Gorak.
Service error
7,
to
8.
end it.
Gold rush.
Risky serve to go for a long, fast reverse. You can see Enzo was waiting to take a swing at it. So it would have been interesting to see how that played out.
A very streaky performance there from Anglas. He gave up 5 straight, scored 5 straight, and then closed with a 6-0 run after falling behind 8-5.
It's pretty crazy. All right. Welcome back. Good to see you guys. Sean, how's it going?
It's been a very strange match so far. Enzo certainly has been the more consistent of the two. And also the player that has slightly more power. One of the big factors for both of these guys is the quality of the first ball into the point. So, you know, making sure you get good rotation and good speed as soon as you make that first topspin. And I think Enzo's done it really well. Gorak's done it well, but maybe a little bit less consistently.
Fox to serve, 0-0.
Major League Table Tennis, we still play game 3, regardless of the results. And it's an important swing, 3-0 or 2-1. Heck of an effort from Anglas from deep in the backcourt. Almost topspin that down onto the edge. That would have gotten the crowd going a little bit.
Gorak again starting the game well. He did in game 2, had a great start. Faded off a little bit. And this time a good balance of control and attack. This is important for Gorak to get those good placements and get Enzo moving around the table more.
That's 3-1. That's 3-1.
Consecutive lets. Gorak serves again at 3-1.
And he's just struggled a little bit with those first openings into the point.
When they played in October, Matt, they split the first 2 games, and Enzo won game 3, 11-6. He's in the first single spot like today.
Right now, Enzo's looking pretty comfortable out there. Gorak, not quite so settled. Luck in there, but these are some of the better points from Gorak. He's able to get the ball wide and then control the ball down the line. He's trying to get Enzo away from his backhand side, then back across to it before it opens up a chance for him to step around. Another serve receive error for Gorak. Costly points here in this match.
He has given Enzo some gifts. There's another.
5. Switch.
If you're Frank Arias, do you consider a timeout to try to give him a breather and rally him to get this third game?
Honestly, I think when your star player is in this kind of, like a slump, there's not too much that you can give them in terms of tactical help, because you already know that a player like Daniel Gorak is very capable of executing high-level shots. But if he's not, then he's got to get himself in the zone. I think there's a lot of close matchups here, so I probably wouldn't be using a timeout unless it gets really close here in the third. Great save off the net by Gorak.
Timeout needed. Gorak, after surrendering the lead, reclaims it. Up by 2 at 7-5. That was well done from Enzo Anglas.
Decisive.
With a lot of players, they talk about the responsibility to their team to perform. But with Enzo, it feels like more than a responsibility. It's like a calling or a mission. He is demanded to perform. And Anglas defends and gets the error out of Gorak. A big swing. Instead of 9-6, it's 8-7.
Gorak certainly not thrilled with that. But it's situations like these where he's just got to pick himself up and get over the line. And the first time you started to see the bench of the Crocs trying to give a bit more energy to their player on the court.
Two more gigantic forehands from Enzo Anglas.
Such quick timing.
Time.
And it looks like there will be a timeout from the Florida Crocs.
Yeah, they call it 9-8. Gorak has one more serve.
I think one observation for me is that the Crocs bench have been fairly quiet throughout this match. I think one of the things that really might have helped make more of a difference for Gorak is if they just really tried to pump him up. I feel like he's been quite flat this match. I mean, he's already under a lot of pressure getting out there in the morning here on a Sunday, third day of matches, playing the first match against a player like Enzo. His team, they've got to give him the energy to get himself in the zone. So he's played some great points. He's really formulated some good point structures. But at the end of the day, the unforced errors have really hurt him in this match.
Come to the table, please.
So hopefully the Crocs bench can instill some confidence in him to get him over the line here.
We got either 2, 3, or 4 points left in this match.
Nine.
Too good.
Enzo just burns a hole in that one.
2 serves belong to Anglas. Gorak able to fight it off
10.
and earn his first game point of the day. One of the highest ball tosses of the day for Enzo. He throws it as high as anybody in this league. All right, first 10-10 experience of the day. We had a bunch of these yesterday, Matt. Gorak on the serve. Anglas trying to sweep. Oh, Anglas able to finish it off. 11-6, 11-8, and 11-10. Gorak can't believe it.
Such a great backhand flick there from Gorak, but the return was so awkward off that ball. He almost shot himself in the foot a little bit there. Enzo overjoyed with that performance. I mean, you couldn't hope for a better start for the Carolina Gold Rush than that one.
Enzo now 20-7 in MLTT singles. And Anglas joins us now. Enzo, strong way for you to finish the weekend from a singles standpoint. Let's go back to the beginning of the match. You're facing Daniel. You played him a month ago. What were the biggest keys, tactics going against Daniel specifically?
There was not proper tactic. There was some point of tactic, but it was not myself. You know, like I'm not playing good those days, but so I have to relax on myself and not put the expectation so high. So as my physical is not so here, I have to play more with the ball. And like the last point, you know, if I want to rush, I want to play fast, I need to make him play as well and then win some few points, relax my body, and yeah, that's it. I was down 5-0 in second set, but yeah, I was just relaxed. And anyway, I cannot get frustrated because I played bad, so it's okay, you know, that's fine.
Well, you didn't play too bad. You won 3 straight games.
Yeah, but you know, in my feelings, actually, that's very difficult point. Is that my feelings are terrible. I know from outside that it looks bad, but my feelings are extremely terrible. And today, what I did, I could manage to just look at the game from a little bit higher, and just keep it simple, keep it relaxed, and just focus on the basics.
And now that you have such a great win record here in singles on the East Coast, how much are you looking forward to potentially taking a stab at some of these West Coast players next month?
Nah, honestly, I don't mind. I just see what we are building with the team. It's getting better game after game. We are better between each other as well. Everybody's feeling better and playing better. So no, it's good. It's good. So no expectation as well for the crossover. Let's see. We will enjoy and fight also to take as much point as we can.
Thanks, Enzo.
As many points as we can.
Everyone else looking forward to the crossover. Well, his game feels pretty strong. His trash talk needs some work.
Just the one thing that just gets me, I'm just waiting for the day that he plays a match where he comes off the table and says, you know what, I played great.
Yeah. All right, Bastien Dupont to serve to Benjamin Brosier, second singles match of the day.
1-0.
Bastien was the inactive player yesterday evening, but brought so much energy on the bench for his team. Now he's going to get a chance to transfer some of that energy back to the table.
Brosier was inactive yesterday as well. Battle against Daniele Pinto on Friday night. Lost 3 games in a row, but they were close and competitive.
Hiding the ball. Let 0-2.
They're calling a service.
Remove your arm faster. Let.
They're warning Brosier for a service violation.
come back with a serve ace down the line. Little clip of the net there by Dupont.
Both these players obviously come from France. How similar would you say their styles are?
Set,
Say
3-1.
Dupont's maybe a little more balanced, backhand and forehand. Brosier definitely looks for more
Set, 3-1.
forehand coverage of the table. Bit more controlling with the backhand.
That's nice.
4-1.
I think as you see there, Dupont can get a little bit more sharpness in his forehand attack.
2-4.
Do you think there's more pressure on Brosier because of what just happened with Gorak losing 3 straight?
Yeah, I think so.
3-4.
Great third ball forehand from Brosier. Yeah, I mean, it's being 3-0 down, you've got to make your impact. Nobody wants to go into the golden game
Set,
without a
3-4.
chance of winning the match. So it's a bit of a high pressure situation here.
Set, 3-4.
Obviously, long way to go. Bold rush off to the exact start they wanted. Enzo leading the way.
4-4.
Some big forehand openings here from Brosier.
5-4.
Dupont a little bit more compact and quick with his forehand stroke. Brosier tends to build up more.
One of the points of the weekend. We've seen Brosier's counter-attack ability, but Dupont would not be denied.
So much patience there. He tried to get a step around forehand in and didn't quite pick the right ball, but the backhand and then the spin control he got on that forehand counter as well. Dupont doing really well there to hold his nerve. Gets in straight away with the step around forehand. He's had some great success with those reverse pendulum serve variations. And then connecting with the forehand on the next ball. Gets really good clearance around that corner. Superb footwork.
6-all.
Dupont again coming in with those compact, snappy forehands.
I thought Brosier hit some good shots in that rally, but Dupont had the answers. Big alley from Bastien Dupont. Takes a lap with a 2-point lead.
Brosier getting caught a little bit softer on the backhand there. He doesn't want to be backed off the table too much, so he needs to maintain pressure on the backhand side. And he does.
That shot keeps him with a glimmer of hope here in this game. More than a glimmer if he can steal this next point.
Great short return there. Just misjudged by Dupont.
Timeout. Gold rush.
Timeout taken by Carolina.
Timeout called here on the Dupont
See
side.
kind of a look of uncertainty on Dupont's face after that mishit. Misread. Alex Yang has a clear message that he wants to get across.
The whole team getting in here and contributing some ideas. This is a really crucial point for them.
But only literally, not figuratively. He understands everything.
Brosier has delivered some of the more exciting moments of the weekend. Sometimes it feels like he's out of a point, and then he does something crazy like this.
This was one of my favorite points from
the way he hit the ball, caught himself with his hands, popped back up, and was ready to play the next shot off Pinto's forehand.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the balance and quality that he had recovering from that. He was so stable.
All right, out of the timeout, Dupont serving up 1. Brosier.
9.
Just exceptional table clearance. The amount of ground covered to position himself for that forehand. When he gets those shots in, there's really no answer from Dupont so far.
Dupont earns the first game point of this match. Great stuff from Brosier to set us up for golden point at 10-all.
The reverse pendulum and the big forehand third ball has served him really well in this first game. And now Dupont will have the serve.
All comes down to this here in game 1. Oh, the net cord helps Dupont take it, and Carolina's up 4-0 on the team tally. Their second straight golden point victory.
Cheeky little tongue poke there from Dupont as he walked away from the table.
Sometimes better to be lucky than good.
Well, certainly in the golden point, the serve worked really well for him. Brosier not happy to pop the ball up that high.
So that forces the
That gives you an
receiver to come
idea of
in
how much
and either
pressure
play
these
pitch
players
a
are
push
under.
or
I
a
mean,
drop shot or flick and attack.
playing
Because if it bounces a
this
second
universal
time, the
golden
point
point
goes to the
is
server wins. A long serve
certainly
will come off
tough.
the table after one bounce, which means that the receiver can get a full swing without the obstacle of the
Dupont
table in
throughout
the
the
way.
first game showing
So a half-long
really good
Time.
balanced
causes
aggression.
Time. Come
hesitation.
to the table, please.
And if someone tries to play a push from the
Come to
baseline,
the
it's
table.
tough to keep short.
Some
You take
fantastic
attack and it
exchanges
bounces
between
again
these
and
two.
you're done. So use that in the push rally as well. Half long. Keep that in mind. This is
Dupont
game
went
number
1 and
2.
2 in his opening singles opportunity this weekend. That was Friday night against
Rock to serve.
Kanemitsu
0-0.
Koyo. He won the first game in that match on Golden Point, then lost the next 2. This time, Brosier puts Dupont on the defensive and takes the opening point.
A lot of the points where Brosier can get in on his forehand usually play out in his favor. Of course, as I say that, Dupont comes in with a great forehand counter. Going for broke. Down the line placement. Not quite able to catch the corner. So really at this point of the match and of the team tie, Brosier has to make his move here. The Crocs already trailing by 4 games.
Yeah, it feels critical. With that said, you look at the 3rd and 4th singles matches. Gonzalez versus Hazine and Duran versus Laurence. Duran did beat Roman 3-0 last time he played him. Now Roman's played really well this weekend, so I'd be surprised if he got swept. Maybe a slight advantage for Duran going into it, maybe. Curious to hear your thoughts on Gonzalez and Hazine.
It could be an interesting match as well. We saw Gonzalez obviously playing against DeSantolan, the defender, yesterday.
Different task today.
Yeah, very different style matchup today. I mean, Gonzalez can get a lot of power in his forehand, but we saw yesterday Jeremy Hazine is a great control player.
DeSantolan often 10, 15 feet off the table. You almost never see Jeremy that far
No.
deep.
No, if he's that far back, he's in big trouble.
Miss from Brosier there.
Just missed timing. You know, when he gets in a forehand that good at the start, he's got to make sure that he capitalizes on it. Good contact on that backhand opening. Keeping things level here. It's been a pretty close close match so far. Almost point for point. Sharp forehand there from Dupont. Straight across the middle of the table.
As you said, at 5-5, back and forth we go.
Brosier ending up on one knee on the ground. giving it everything to try and stay in these forehand rallies.
He told us the other day, Brosier, that he tries not to dive that much anymore because he knows it's a recipe to get hurt.
Yeah, I think most table tennis players would avoid it if possible.
That's great stuff from Dupont.
8-7.
Had an opportunity and sent it right down the line.
Dupont
7-9.
catching Brosier right on the shoulder there in the body. It's a big play from Brosier. This has really been his star setup. The reverse. Getting that long push return and just going all in on the forehand third ball attack. Now Dupont will have the serve.
How about this? We've played 40 points so far in this match. It's 20-20. Can Brosier get to the finish line here in game 2?
Yes, he will.
And 2 games, just about as close as you can get. And this will be a very intriguing rubber match coming up here between the 2 Frenchmen, Dupont and Brosier.
That's a breath of air for the Crocs there. They were, for a little while there from the opening, getting a bit suffocated by the Carolina Gold Rush. Brosier putting the first point on the board for the Florida Crocs.
The Florida Crocs twice, despite the fact that Florida Crocs were first place in the league coming into yesterday's team tie.
Almost like a contortionist out there sometimes, you know.
You're right.
The forehands that he pulls off when he's off balance or out of position are pretty incredible.
That is it. That's what the golden point means. It's 10-10. I know you all
Not the most orthodox of styles.
I see you as well.
Time. Come to the table, please.
Who would you lean toward here in game 3? Obviously, it's been very small margins between these guys through the first 41 points they've played.
Yeah, it's tough to lean either way. I would say one thing, I think balance has been a really big factor in this. Dupont has certainly been more stable in his balance, and we haven't seen him out of position as much.
Gold rush to serve.
Benjamin
0-0.
Brosier has certainly been pushed around a little bit more in terms of footwork, but he's also played some incredible forehands from those positions. So, yeah, there's a few different interesting factors at play here. An unforced error with the backhand there of Brosier. This is typically why we see him try and utilize the forehand as much as he can. Yeah, get him with it this time, but again, Dupont has played some pretty amazing counterattacks with the forehand. gets him
3,
again.
1.
Just penning Brosier on the backhand corner.
At this point, it'd be very surprising to see one of these two players break this game open.
It would be very surprising, yeah. Dupont backed away from the table. Typically not an area that he's performed too well in. He's certainly much better off staying close.
I think the best two doubles tandems in the league getting warmed up right now. Anglas and Lin, Gorak and Ekholm colliding next.
Brosier just covering so many different table positions there. More great forehand work from him. Dupont goes for the same strategy.
A yellow card on Dupont for kicking the ball in the direction of the umpire. Went well over the head of Linda Leaf, but it's a yellow card for Carolina.
3, 5.
That's a warning, but that isn't just a warning for Dupont, it's a warning for the entire team. Dupont wasn't all that upset about getting the yellow. He just needed a ball. He was looking at the umpire, and the umpire thought he was wondering why he got the yellow.
Dupont says, I've got work to do out here.
We saw the cards be a factor back in week 1. It was Carolina.
Sometimes that's the price of fiery passion. So it's interesting to see how people react to cards as well.
Yeah.
I've seen players that get more pumped up, and Dupont seems to have either remained stable or picked it up a little. Brosier sticking to his guns here. Again, the reverse and forehand third ball attack has been a great winning tactic for Brosier.
6, 6.
One thing that Dupont's been able to capitalize on is, especially on the slower openings of Brosier, if he gets that ball back quick, the recovery time for Brosier takes him a little bit longer.
Dupont wants that one back.
Gets him with the forehand again. Dupont backing off a little bit more than he usually would with that counter.
And his would be huge for the Crocs if they could take 2 points here in the second singles match.
9-6.
Brosier closing in. Ten 6 lead now. It's 4 straight points for Benjamin Brosier. What a point to finish it. Brosier was very nearly down 2 games to none, but he rallied back in game 2 and then closes strong in game 3 to earn 2 significant points for the Crocs.
Yeah, he'll be really happy with his performance there.
You maybe haven't seen a yellow card before, and you most likely have not seen a red card before. Yellow cards are typically awarded, if you will, or presented, let's say.
So Benjamin gets the win in second singles over Bastien Dupont, and Benjamin joins us now. That was exciting, close, competitive the whole way. I mean, your first time playing Bastien in Major League Table Tennis, how familiar were you with his style and tactics heading into the match?
Not so much. Like we played a long time ago once, but in a different system. It was best of 7. Here we know it's only 3 sets. It's totally different approach of the match.
Al, it's really important for you in the match to play a lot of forehand. You're out there sometimes really out of position, but still able to play the ball quite well. For you, what made the difference between being able to play great quality forehands versus him maybe feeling comfortable countering them?
Actually, it was not really a choice to play forehand. When I played that many forehand, it's because I'm quite stressed, and so many things happen in your mind. You know, when you play a match, emotion, doubt. I've not been playing well since the beginning of the season, and it's not that easy. So I was running after my forehand because that was my solution at the moment. But what made the difference at the end is that I was able to stay more calm with my receiving. Also, the way I played my forehand, I tried to play them like smarter with more quality, not especially strong forehand, but with more quality to make him make mistake. You know.
Benjamin, I'm curious, did you feel any additional pressure from the team after Daniel Gorak struggled and didn't get a point in the first singles match? Is there more responsibility on your shoulders? Does that factor in your mind at all?
It can be sometime, but in this match, not at all. I was too focused on what I had to do that I didn't even think that Daniel lost 3-0 in the first match. The pressure I have is because I want to do good, and I didn't do good since the beginning of the season. And yeah, you have to find the right balance between that and okay, I have to go because the match is done.
We'll let you get a good seat for the doubles match. Thanks, Benjamin. Well done.
See you.
It's a guy who has a sense of timing in more ways than one. All right, the best 2 doubles teams in the league squaring off for the final time in 2023. A little confused about who's going to serve and who's going to receive. According to the lineup sheet, Enzo serving to Gorak to start, but that might be an error. And it looks like Ekholm will serve first. These 2 teams matched up both in September and October. Both times it was a 2-1 win for Carolina.
Yeah, this is going to be quite an impactful match. I think where the other teams have struggled in doubles against these 2 pairs. That's been kind of a reliable point scoring basket for them to be able to win the doubles. Here, nothing guaranteed for either team.
That's 3-0. One, three.
Don't expect too many more of those backspin forehands from Enzo. What were you going to say?
I'm
Fault.
not sure what happened there.
Wrong. 1-4.
Point for Carolina is what happened. And that caught the edge. Ekholm will take it. And the Crocs back within 2. You can just take one more quick look at the standings and the East Division. Pay attention to the doubles column. I mean, obviously, these two teams overall have struggled in singles. That was going into today. Doubles has been reliable.
I think what makes it interesting is obviously the Crocs have the lower singles record of the two. So you have to wonder how important this doubles is for them. And, you know, particularly after yesterday with them, maybe a little bit of a dent in their confidence in the Golden game.
Yeah. Another net cord winner. Ekholm's caught an edge and caught a net cord winner. But those are 2 of the 3 points for Florida. Everything else has been, for the most part, Carolina's control. Until now.
Great combination there from Ekholm and Gorak. Really putting the pressure on.
And I know how much you love doubles.
5-7.
What dynamics of the styles of each of these two teams do you most enjoy focusing in on?
I think it's about how they set the attack up. Again, they're both teams that are quite reliable and quite consistent. So seeing like, you know, these little firefights like this and seeing which team gets the upper hand there or how they get the upper hand. You know, sometimes it's really great placement. Sometimes it's in the rally before, like Gorak hitting a ball a little bit inside out. Ekholm, the second time getting caught out there with the step around forehand into the body. Just not quite clearing the corner enough.
Gorak and Ekholm hanging around, keeping it tight.
So driving Gorak back from the table. Hong playing with short pips, rubber, and pen hold. Usually really good for flat driving, so it's a dangerous position for the Crocs pair to back off the table. Enzo with the fade wide there. 3 game points for the Carolina Gold Rush. This team has been off to a flyer so far in this team tie.
Yes, indeed. Anglas and Lin keep it rolling to start this doubles match, an 11-7 win Enzo and Hong are now 6-1, playing doubles together this weekend. And Hong Lin is now 17-5 on the season, playing doubles with shots like that.
She's just really been an anchor for the team in terms of points, not just in the doubles, but the golden game as well. A great start from Carolina Gold Rush pair. They certainly did a really good job between the two of them of pushing Gorak and Ekholm back off the table.
And what they're saying is, the whole rest of the table is my forehand. I dare you to try and avoid my forehand. It sets them up nice and well. You'll see it in the singles more than the doubles. In the doubles, keep your eyes on the signal.
You can see there in the replays, Enzo with some really high quality serve returns there.
This is game number 2.
Gold Rush to serve, 0-0.
So the serve order will change as the players switch sides. Hong Lin will serve this time to Daniel Gorak.
1-0.
And Enzo just floats the ball up. Matilda Ekholm not thrilled with that at all.
And that's going to get Carolina, or Florida, their first yellow card of the day. So Bastion Dupont earned one last singles match, and now Matilda. So now both teams playing with a caution. And Matilda has said that Daniel's always the calm one, and she's always the emotional one. Enzo Anglas
4-0.
makes it 4-0 for the Gold Rush here in game 2. It's a first-class effort from this Carolina doubles team.
Enzo again finding that forehand corner all the way across the table from Ekholm.
Do you think Enzo would say he's still playing poorly?
You never know with him, honestly.
Is there anything to, you have a lefty shake hold player, you have a righty pen hold player, and just how their styles match up with each other in a sort of a weird contrasty way?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it comes down more to playing style. So, as I just said before, Hong's got short pimple rubber, which is really good for flat driving. So you'll see her spin more on the backhand, on the reverse side of her racket, but she tends to flat hit more with the forehand. So when you have both of those forehands in the middle of the table, it's all about creating angles to set your partner up. And Enzo does such a fantastic job of it. And that's why I think their doubles combination for me stands out as the strongest. Probably in the whole league, East and West.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to find out soon, but yeah, I think this combination for them is really strong. Oh, just crazy forehand. The margins on that to get it directly down the line, almost from outside the table.
It's too good. Anglas sees in control.
A little smile at the bench there.
10-2 here in game 2. Jumped out 7-0. We have not seen 11-0 yet in MLTT. We've seen 11-1.
I'd be so surprised to see it, I think. With just with the caliber of the players here.
Game Gold Rush.
11-3 though. About as one-sided as it gets. And surprising to see Gorak and Ekholm struggle like this.
Yeah, I think if you look at how things have played out overall, Gorak's having a pretty rough day at the office. Which, you know, in the life of a professional athlete is not abnormal.
No.
And it's tough, you know, when you're in a position where you're the top draft pick on the team and you're in the singles and you're in the doubles and you're expected to perform well in the Golden Game. I've talked about this multiple times this weekend for Enzo and Daniel. They're in that tough position where they probably feel a lot of responsibility for the team. And when you come out of the blocks and you're not particularly timing the ball well, or you're feeling, you know, not quite on form, then it's really tough to bounce back from. And I don't think we've seen Gorak bounce back yet. And unfortunately, that's putting some extra pressure on Matilda. And you know, Enzo being left-handed, every left-hander knows their own weaknesses, and you can kind of apply them back. So him sending the ball into that pocket down the line just worked for him every time against Matilda, who's making a concerted effort to try and cover the corner more.
That's a 6-2 lead now on the team tally. Carolina entered the day with a 3-point lead atop the East Division. This exact moment, it's now a 7-point lead. Carolina needs to get to 10 points to guarantee that they'll still be atop the table heading into December. But right now, Alex Yang and his Gold Rush probably thinking about a pretty big win. Still a lot to be played, though, a lot to be settled.
And
more like it for Matilda.
Exercises a pretty good judgment on the length of that serve.
See if this can be a catalyst for the Crocs here.
And so driving through the forehand, pressuring Gorak's backhand. Worked well for him in the singles. Continues to work well for him here in the doubles.
Enzo Anglas single-handedly can halt another team's little ounce of momentum that they may think they be gaining.
Slow and steady.
Teams will switch sides with Anglas and Lin up 5-3 here in game 3. Especially if Carolina sweeps here, how big was Benjamin Brosier's performance when he was up against it in game 2, in danger of falling behind 2 games to none, and the score was in danger of being 5-0 at that point.
Well, this is also a tougher order in the second half for the Crocs. We saw in game 2 pretty dominant performance from the Carolina Gold Rush pair. And there's that flat driving short pimple forehand attack from Hong Lin.
Wow. Not a bad return from Ekholm, but Hong Lin teed off. Not much Gorak could do.
Ekholm, no stranger to a little creativity in the shots. Handles that one like a champ. Conlon, really no clue how to deal with that one.
Look, we've seen Florida sometimes save their best for last in terms of the golden game. Feels like that's what the mindset's going to have to be for Gorak and Ekholm today. Right now, the aggregate score 31-14.
10-4.
They expected the two titans in doubles to put on a show, but this has been a one-sided obliteration.
10-5.
Certainly has. Still 5 game points remaining here for the Carolina pair. Ekholm putting a foot down here.
That'll do it, though. 3 straight for Anglas and Lin, 7-3 and 6, as they deliver a dominant performance. And what a day at the office for Enzo at Gorak's expense.
Yeah, incredibly dominant performance from this Carolina Gold Rush pairing. Continue to deliver in the doubles games. That's only going to make their doubles record even stronger on the standings.
The person who decided what the lineup for the Gold Rush was going to be, Alex Yang, joins us now. Alex, I imagine you expected Enzo Anglas to play well today, but to get 6 points against Daniel Gorak and Matilda Ekholm in single doubles was a tall task, and yet he got it done. What can you say about what Enzo and Hong were just able to do in dominant fashion?
I think today Enzo played fantastic. Special second game with Gorak, down 5-0, then he can come back. And also the third set he was behind and he come back. Now make him very, very relaxed today. It's looked like French Xu for me. After for doubles, Enzo so relaxed and take off the pressure from Hong, so Hong play more easier.
And having such a strong position here for the first half of the match, do you think that's going to help the rest of your team maybe feel a little bit more relaxed about where the team's standing now?
Yes, I think so. So the match still continue, but we still in the fight.
Alex, what do you remember about drafting Enzo and Hong in your first 2 picks and in starting the conversation about developing their doubles chemistry?
Because left hand and the right hand is the best double style, and also the short pips, pay hold and the left hand shaking. That's little confused for other players because they no stop changing spin. One spin, the one fast, one spin, one no spin. So that's I think the best combination.
Your doubles teams are now 21 and 6 since the start of the season. Before we let you go, give us one key for Jeremy Hazine as he goes up against Dan Gonzalez here.
He told me he has more confidence. I think he told me like 8-0 for him. But I told him that's the history, but try to get 1 set, it's your goal.
Excellent. Thank you for your time, Alex.
Thank you very much.
Alex Yang, originally from Shanghai, China, now lives in Suwanee, Georgia. And interesting, Jeremy Hazine takes the table with confidence, and Alex basically says, hey, one set at a time, one game at a time.
He did say yesterday at the end of the evening, winning was the one word on his mind. And also acknowledged, I think, a little bit that he needed to be more aggressive. I think that was one of his key takeaways from his match yesterday. Had some great matches, good control player, stays up on the table. Gonzalez yesterday coming up against the defender and Matthew de Santalan, and came out just blazing with forehands. So much power and explosiveness it's going to be interesting to see how these two match up, and especially how this first game goes here.
Gold rush to serve, 0-0.
Well, with Ojo Onaolapo inactive and wearing a winter coat on the Crocs bench, we're going to have to settle for Dan Gonzalez's biceps shining off to the world here today.
Rolled sleeves instead of cut.
1-0.
So Jeremy Hazine starting his typical style of trying to maintain control over the table.
First time these two are facing in a singles match in MLTT. Hazine faced Ojo in singles in September, and 3 close games, but Ojo won them all. Hazine faced Brosier in October. Brosier took 2 out of 3. Similar to today, Brosier lost the opening game and then battled back.
Jeremy showing he's not afraid to play a forehand today. That might be a decisive factor in whether he can produce his best table tennis here.
Meanwhile, this is Daniel Gonzalez's first ever appearance against the Gold Rush.
3-1.
Gonzalez sends it long. Hazine leads 4-2. What stands out to you about the first 6 points?
Again, Hazine just maintaining great control, and we saw yesterday, you know, playing against Pinto. Not yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? One of the days. The weekend's a blur.
Yes.
But Pinto just had to play a number of outstanding shots before he could try and even see a hole in the defense of Jeremy, and he said it himself. It was tough, and yeah, he definitely considered it to be quite the workout. So
It was yesterday, to answer your question.
yeah. So Gonzalez has great power, but
2.
one of the things about playing somebody who blocks so well is having great power doesn't necessarily always lend a hand to you unless you can find a slot to hit the ball into.
So more about the angle than the pace.
Yeah, you've got to find that space or that opening first. And that's not always an easy task against Jeremy. It's definitely one of the bigger backhand attempts we've seen from him.
Certainly one he feels like he should have. Could be 8-2, instead a glimmer of hope for Gonzalez, 7-3. Just like that, he's back to 7-4.
I think for Gonzalez, finding more opportunities to get out onto the forehand side will definitely help him. We did see Jeremy start out quite soft on the forehand side in his match yesterday. Gonzalez finds a spot down the middle of the table. Just sends it over the end. Quick hands from Hazine.
6.
Sets himself up with 4 game points. He's slightly overplaying some of those more aggressive backhand shots. You don't see him swinging too much on the backhand usually.
Jeremy Hazine able to get across the finish line in game 1. For the second straight day, he takes the opening set against his opponent in singles.
11-7. Fascinating.
Solid performance there, starting from Hazine. It was steady as always on the backhand side. I think he went for a couple of shots on the backhand, maybe were a little bit over the top for a player like him who usually stays in control, but it gives you an idea of that commitment that he's made to himself to try and be more aggressive when he has the opportunity. So Hazine on the bench was giving some entertainment to his team as well. He's quite an intense and animated character.
The key word that he used and you reminded us of was winning.
Come to the table.
That
Time.
game clinches the
Players
lead
to the
heading into
table.
the Golden Game for Carolina.
Players to the table.
And they've obviously got a really good chance to create the maximum
to the
5-point
table,
lead as a Golden Game advantage. They could be up 11-4. They could have a 7-point lead in the team tally. It would still just be a 5-point lead. I personally think there should be no limit to the lead you can have going into the Golden Game. If you win 11-4 or 12-3, I think you should be up 7-0 or 9-0. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
I know there's been a reasonable amount of debate over it about how people feel about the weighting of the Golden Game versus how much of an impact the games that come before it have. I like the team aspect of the Golden Game. I think it has to hold a core importance here because it's such a differentiator from other professional leagues. At the same time, I think I would like to see the full matches, you know, the singles and the doubles have potentially a little bit more impact into the end result. So yeah, it could be interesting to have that strategy. I mean, if it, for example, here the balance of control in this match has been in Carolina's favor, and you have to think after their performances here, yeah, they deserve to be in a strong position going into the Golden Game.
2, 3.
As it stands now, though, the largest lead at the start of the Golden Game would be 5-0. We have seen 5-0 deficits overcome twice so far in MLTT Golden Game history. Once by Portland against Seattle in September. The other time Carolina did it against Princeton down in Myrtle Beach. That was when Hong Lin got bragging rights over Jishan Liang for their car ride home, which was not enjoyable so much for Jishan. That's well done from Jeremy Hazine.
Gonzalez did such a good job of getting Jeremy stuck in the corner, but he was able to regain his balance.
2, 6.
And it's really looking like the Carolina Gold Rush players are energized and here just ready to run through this match.
3, 6.
When you first saw the lineup this morning, aside from being excited to see certain matchups, did you feel like one team had an edge going into it?
6, 4.
No, not of this magnitude. This for me is surprising. I mean, yeah, these two teams have gone back and forth at the top of the leaderboard, and the reason that that's happened is because the caliber of the player on their teams is really high, and
Timeout Carolina here. 3 straight points for Gonzalez from 6-2 to 6-5.
Yeah, I think honestly one of the things for me going into this was that Florida have performed so well, especially in the Golden game in the last 2 matchups with Carolina. But you had to feel like Carolina were performing really well this weekend. So if anything, I thought it would be close, and that Carolina would put up a great fight. But I still thought that the Crocs would be in it. Right now, it's definitely more one-sided than I thought. And Jeremy Hazine is continuing that here and
Come to the
still in a
table.
good position here in this match. Gonzalez certainly has the pressure in his court a little bit more.
Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. They're coming to the table faster, or I'm going to
I mean,
give them a yellow card.
if by chance Jeremy
6-5.
came out on top here with a 3-0, that would be really dangerous for the Crocs, and it would put an immense amount of pressure on Mark Duran.
What a point!
Wow, amazing point from Gonzalez.
Before that point began, Gonzalez sort of called over by the umpire, and I believe the warning was about getting to the table a little bit quicker after the timeout. And each team already has a yellow card, so nice unofficial warning. The point of the match so far. Gonzalez playing defense and tying this thing up. 4 straight points for Daniel.
Trying to get himself pumped up here.
How would you, analyze the service technique of Daniel Gonzalez as you watch it here? It's different than most.
Yeah, it's kind of like hook serve variations. I feel like they've become a little bit more common in table tennis over the previous years. It was good timing that you asked that question, as he went for a long, fast serve variation with a similar action. It's
Switching sides of the table nicely, caught Hazine off balance.
and all smiles on the Carolina bench.
Hazine still with a 2-0 lead in sight against Daniel Gonzalez. And a slew of game points right here to make it 9-2 on the team tally. Not yet.
10-8.
Yeah, it's interesting, really interesting looking at it. So the wind-up action is very deceptive. Hazine really pumped to win that, and the lead extends for the Carolina Gold Rush, 9-2. The Crocs are in some possibly deeper water than a crocodile might feel comfortable in here, Evan.
Particularly with how well Laurence has played this weekend, and he has not even taken the table yet.
And he was bragging about it. It was pretty funny. So the team had a good laugh there at his expense. Good time. So you had a question for him. First, let's
Carolina with 2 more wins in the 4 remaining games would clinch this match even before we get to the Golden game.
Yeah, there's a distinct possibility the way things are going right now. I mean, if Jeremy comes out of this with 3 points and it's 10-2 going into the last singles match, then Romain only has to win 1 game out of the 3.
And the reality is just getting to 10 guarantees that Carolina will remain ahead of the Crocs in the standings heading into December.
Third game.
I'll tell you one thing, it's a really great strategy against a team that's so proficient in the golden game to try and basically make it an ineffective part of the team tie.
Well, we'll see how Gonzalez finishes here. We'll see how Duran does against Laurence. Duran's been playing at a pretty high level too. I mean, that's going to be a fun match.
Yeah, certainly has.
Duran is a deceptive 3-3 this weekend because 2 of those 3 losses were 11-10. Hazine keeps it rolling to start game 2. It will be very interesting to see, though, how Florida resets emotionally before the Golden Game, because we know they're going to be down at minimum 3-0 at the start. And it's very likely going to be 5-0. I mean, it's hard to imagine Gonzalez and Duran winning these next 4 games with what we've seen so far, and both today and this weekend from Roman. Meanwhile, Jeremy Hazine's having himself a little Sunday to remember. Potentially his first 3-0 sweep of his MLTT career.
And he's really opened up the attack. True to his word. A lot more aggression in the points from Hazine than
1-5.
his previous match yesterday.
Is the score. All right. 1-5.
He's locked in.
1-6.
Can you describe the feeling of just being in the zone where everything feels good?
If I was Enzo, I'd probably say bad.
6-2.
No, it's great. I mean, it's like going to the casino and just winning everything.
What's that like?
Feels pretty good. Looks like that clipped the side of the table. Yeah, I think when you're in a position where your timing feels really good, it feels really great to be in a position where you're in control and the pressure just kind of melts away from you. And you just feel like you can play your game. And
4-6.
it is a great feeling. And I'm sure Jeremy will have something to say about it after this. A little bit of a net break there.
How about this?
6-6.
Late surge from Daniel Gonzalez to try and salvage a point here for the Crocs.
It's really a now or never situation. Big point there from Hazine.
Sure was. The reaction tells you the story too.
That's 7-6.
Very quick net serve call there from
7 all.
7.
little perspiration dripping onto the table. Hazine takes care of that. And there may be a little bit more on the edge of the table. You want a dry table.
7.
Yeah, yeah. Any moisture that gets onto your racket or onto the ball can just wreak havoc in table tennis. Basically, has a huge impact on the grip. So basically, if the ball's wet and it touches your racket, it's going to drop like a ton of bricks. Hazine, second point in a row, trying to carry that backhand ball as wide as he can. Missed the table by quite a bit. Good change there. Couple of balls cross court. Then driving the ball down the line.
Jeremy Hazine has already won this match, but he wants the 3-0 sweep. Florida looking for a spark, and Gonzalez trying to provide it. Heck of a point. 9 all.
Gonzalez did such a great job of getting the forehand attack in and then rebalancing on the backhand, but just put the ball long.
Wow.
9-10.
Recognize one of those words that Gonzalez used. Hazine can sweep here. Well, 10 all. Third golden point of the day. 12 games. Enzo beat Gorak 11-10. Dupont got an 11-10 win against Brosier.
Second.
Will it be Hazine or Gonzalez to leave the table
10.
with a smile? That's well done by Jeremy Hazine. Gonzalez kicks the ball in frustration at the end of the match. Don't think the umpires are going to pull out another card. Bastion Dupont is probably saying, why not? Jeremy Hazine, his first 3-0 sweep in his MLTT career. The Canadian converts 3 points and creates a 10-2 lead for Carolina.
You would never have imagined going into this matchup at the start that Carolina would find themselves in such a dominant position here in this match.
Joined now by Jeremy Hazine. Your first 3-0 sweep in singles in your MLTT career. What were you most proud of your performance today?
I think definitely my fighting spirit. As you can see, even the last months of the Major League, I'm always playing well at the start of every set. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happens in the middle of the set. Either I lost focus or maybe I'm not in the best of shape. I don't know which one is it. But I think today, winning the third set was a very boost to my confidence because usually I'm leading and then I lose. Well, actually second set too, but I think the third set really demonstrated my great fighting spirit. And I didn't think about what happened in the past when I'm leading and losing. So I'm really happy with the third set, especially today.
What was going through your mind, Jeremy, at 10 all in that third set?
Actually, to be honest, nothing, because, you know, Adam Barbaro says golden point, so it's honestly, it's kind of distracting. But I guess it's for the spectators. So when he said golden point, I just said, just do your best. Golden point means step up to the plate, and that's what I did at 10-10.
Now, yesterday, after your match with Daniele Pinto, when we interviewed you at the end of the night, you said you needed to start stepping up and being more aggressive. How happy were you with your performance in this match? I think, you know, from our perspective, you really stepped up the aggression a lot.
Yeah, actually, I was really aggressive, so I did something out of my comfort zone. So for sure, for my confidence for the future months of Major League, that's very good. Yeah, very confident.
Obviously, you still need to reset for the Golden game. What will you do between now and the start of the Golden?
Probably just rest because I'm a little bit tired right now. So I guess with a 10-2 score, I think we should be good normally. But I guess they're starting now, so I better get going.
Thanks, Jeremy. A shot of Jeremy's parents there sitting in the crowd. Very proud. All right, fourth singles, Laurence and Mark Duran.
1-0.
We already know Carolina's going to have a 5-0 lead heading into the Golden game. We already know Carolina, regardless of what transpires the rest of the day, will be in first place atop the East Division standings. Now it is a matter of how wide is that lead heading into December.
Roman, a player that played exceptionally in his singles yesterday and really earned the trust of the coach to be put out first in the Golden game.
Depending on what happens the rest of the way here, the lead could be as little as 2, or it could be as wide as 20.
That was a very, very faint touch there on the edge of the table.
3-2.
A lot of pressure here on Mark Duran right now. If he can win 3-0, his team,
4.
knowing their strength in the Golden game, could still have the opportunity to steal victory here.
Let. Move your hand out of the way, fast. Move your hand out of the way. Two, 5.
Supposed to have a flat palm, but you need to cup your palm a little bit so the ball stays still as you're throwing it up in the air.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to have a perfectly flat
6,
hand.
2.
I think the main thing that they're trying to avoid is that there's no spin imparted on the ball toss. That can make an enormous difference in the serve quality or how the ball is struck and what kind of spin comes off the racket. Mark Duran getting pumped up.
3-7.
Yeah, that's well done.
Roman not quite finding his forehand game just yet.
What has impressed you the most about what we've seen from Laurence this weekend? Obviously, he's played some of his best table tennis of the season.
For me, especially yesterday in the singles, I think his ability to connect between one forehand and the next. So it was very seamless, the way that he opened with the forehand and then, I mean, played some brilliant angles in his match last night. So Roman facing 5 game points here. Mark Duran keeping the Crocs alive.
11-5.
11-5 for Duran.
Every game that Duran wins here ensures that the Crocs' hopes of a golden game opportunity stay alive.
This match. And the answer is yes, there is. Mark Duran, if he wins 2 more games for a clean sweep, will have 5 points with the Florida Crocs.
Duran trying to pressure that backhand side as much as he can. If you start seeing Laurence playing more forehand and connecting those forehands together, that's when you know trouble is coming and a storm is brewing. So Duran's task is to lock down Roman's forehand game.
But still Carolina Gold Rush up by 7. The Spanish showman back at the table. And a lot to
Time.
look forward to as Roman
Time.
returns. It is 10-3 for Carolina Gold Rush.
Second game,
So we'll
Gold Rush
see what
serve.
Roman can bring to the table
0-0.
in game 2.
Duran has now won 4 straight games over Roman, dating back to October.
Yeah, I feel like it's a nice star matchup for him, and also remember he played an excellent match with Liang Jishan. He's good at playing quick against players that are so reliant on their forehand. His speed really becomes a factor in this. Just incredible rallies from him.
One of the better rallies of the weekend for sure. Laurence with a smash to finish the point. Take the 2-0 lead here in game 2.
It's just crazy how many just wild shots he gets back. That forehand kind of hook shot. Roman gets it in. He knows just one game here will make all the difference for the Carolina Gold Rush.
3-1. Four, 1, 3-2.
And a miss hit on the top edge there from Duran. Set that up nicely, but any point like that is going to cost him greatly. Roman just keeping controlled at the mid-distance. Doing well to neutralize the speed of Marc Duran.
Wow.
6-2.
Not wasting any time there on the return. Already more points for Laurence here in game 2 than game 1.
7-2.
And momentum continues. Laurence 5 points ahead here. And just keeps going.
2-8.
Did he change something, or did he just find his rhythm?
I think he found his forehand. Getting the first opening in is a big factor for him. I think he's backed off a little bit from the table, and Marc Duran's speed at getting to him has become a little bit less of a factor. He's definitely handled it much better in the second game.
Bobro. He's never been on camera before. He's very excited about this.
Duran with a late answer there. Forehand flick on the serve return.
Somehow the camera always finds Adam's color. It stands out in any crowd.
Somehow. Not quite camouflage. And Duran trying for the backhand punch. Carolina Gold Rush will certainly be pretty happy with how things have gone here.
That 11-4 win clinches a 3-0 weekend for Carolina. They're going to be in first place in the East heading toward December. And the Gold Rush now just trying to run up the score against the team that entered the weekend in first place, the Florida Crocs.
Yeah, the Carolina Gold Rush, I think, as a team, have certainly consistently gelled together the best. And you know, I talked with when we had Coach Yang in the post-match interview yesterday. The difference between the opposition team sending their players away to practice and warm up before the Golden Game, and he kept his entire bench there on the sideline to make sure that they were there supporting their player in the last singles match. So I think there are some team factors that have really gone in favor of Carolina. And you know, the Crocs have gelled together so well, but I feel today the results have kind of pulled them down, and we've seen them maybe a little bit quieter and a little bit less energetic.
I think it's a great point, Matt. Some subtle stuff paying dividends for the Gold Rush. Now it's up to Duran to try to give his team at least a little positive spirit heading into the Golden Game.
0-2.
Roman still finding that step around forehand. He's given himself a little bit more space.
Biggest margin of victory so far in a team match, MLTT, was September 24th in Santa Cruz when Portland smashed the hometown Bay Area Blasters 18-3. Obviously Carolina could match that if they could get this 2-1 win from Laurence and then also win the Golden. That was a good day for Christian Lily Rose's paddlers. He was dancing up a storm after that win on the Blasters' home turf.
There's a two-handed backhand attempt. Yeah, I mean, especially after being pegged as potentially the last position team in the league. So ripping out a few dance moves here and there after that one. Big forehand action there from Roman Laurence, and you can see Duran trying his best to rip out the two-handed backhand.
Big roar from Mark Duran to outlast Roman in that rally.
Just hit some absurd shots when he's back from the table sometimes. Just exceptional timing to land that ball.
If you're wondering, Matt, the battle between probably the two most charismatic coaches, Frank Arias and Christian Lily Rose, will be Sunday in Rock Hill. It's Sunday, December 3rd to wrap up the weekend. The Crocs and the Paddlers. I don't know how gregarious Frank Arias will be today, though. Although if Duran could, get this win and they could somehow battle back from 5-0 down in the Golden Game, I think he'd walk out of here with a smile. And look, he's still smiling.
He's still enjoying himself.
Making sure we got the score accurate. 6-3 for Duran.
Great backhand punch. You know, one of the things that I think all of the coaches on the East Coast here have echoed is the sentiment that at the end of the day for them, the results are important, but the concept of building a team is really their focus. And you've seen players talk about it as well, saying, okay, maybe I didn't play this well or I didn't do that well, but at the end of the day, I'm out here for the team.
4-7.
Well, you arrive on Thursday or Friday, and you've got 3 team matches on the agenda. It's going to be even busier in Rock Hill, the interdivisional crossover weekend. Every team will play 4 team matches in 3 days to get a glimpse of everybody else and in the other division. I'm curious whether we're going to see like a turf war in terms of the East Division teams supporting each other and the West Division, because there's going to be divisional pride on the line, and
it's possible. I think the mix of players, makes it interesting. Roman on the attack again. Just short for Duran. Yeah, I don't know if all of these players will have embraced that kind of coastal pride that the US has. From a spectator standpoint, I could definitely see people getting in behind their coast.
I'm thinking more just from a result standpoint, from wanting your results to stand up in your division. If one division really controls play against the other, that will, shift how we think about the entire league, particularly heading into the playoffs with the top 2 teams from each division qualifying. It's a big weekend for Carolina for that cause. And yet Mark Duran
10-6.
a point away from sneaking away with a 2-1 victory over Roman Laurence. This would make Duran 5-4 in singles on the weekend. Not yet.
7.
Probably wishing he'd done more in the second game in hindsight.
Laurence
8-10.
putting the pressure on Duran here, gets it to 10-8. Two serves here for Roman to try and force another golden point.
You can't make this stuff up.
I saw a 2-handed backhand in there from Duran staying in it.
Followed by a backhand chop.
Timeout, Frank Arias using his last timeout before the Golden Game to give Duran a breather after that battle. I don't know if we can watch that whole point again.
The stuff that this guy produces when he's backed off the table and with his back against the wall, nothing short of phenomenal. So far back from the table, 2-handed backhands, backhand chops. Certainly to this point here on Sunday, he still holds what I would consider my favorite point of the weekend in his first match on the first day. One of the most just gritty rallies I've ever seen. in Major League Table Tennis yet. Again, just showcasing his versatility and the range of shots that he has when he's backed off the table.
That was in the match against Sasha Hazine. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, it was right in the beginning of the third game. I made a note of it so I can go out and clip that one for later.
9-10.
So
You're saying we might see it on the gram at some point?
oh yeah, that's that's not even a question. It's going there.
Duran still has game point. Laurence still has one serve. 10-all.
Really goes for it. Pretty risky serve return there.
Well, this is the fourth golden point of this match. The first three have all gone Carolina's way. And there's another.
Just crushes the forehand.
Laurence comes from 10-6 down and takes the match with a golden point victory. Tough way for Duran's singles weekend to finish, but what a performance from Romain Laurence in the clutch.
Just see the energy coming off the bench of Carolina on that winning point.
A 12-3 lead now for Carolina, courtesy of Romain Laurence, taking 2 out of 3 from Marc Duran after dropping the first game 11-5.
Saw some just stunning rallies. Basically any occasion where Marc Duran got backed off the table, you knew you were in for an awesome point.
Golden game order with a commish, Flint Lane.
Carolina 12, Florida 3. There's still 6 points on the line in the golden game. Carolina will be starting with a 5-point lead. Florida has the first pick of player. Benjamin Brosier is your first. Coach. Bastien Dupont is your first. You're number 2. Enzo Anglas is your 2. Daniel Gonzalez is your 2, and your 3? Daniel Gorak is your 3. Romain Laurence is your 3, and your 4? Bastien or Hong? Oh, no. Yes. Jeremy? Jeremy Hazine is your 4, making Hong Lin your 5. Mark or Matilda? Marc Duran is your 4, making Matilda your 5. Okay, good luck, coaches.
All righty. Certainly plenty of intrigue to that order. Frank Arias choosing Benjamin Brosier to try to light a spark to get this started. And then, we said Daniel in the 2 spot. I think we all expected the Daniel G to be Daniel Gorak, but mixing it up. Gonzalez against Anglas. Gorak will take on Laurence. What do you think of the matchups here?
I'm definitely not particularly surprised to see Brosier put out first. I think for the Crocs, he was the only shining light that kind of stood out for them here, being able to win his singles performance. So they'll be hoping that he will come out here and set the tone for them. Obviously, Gorak really struggled in his match with Enzo, so changing the order up. Not hugely surprising, but
Rossi is going to have the first serve. Dupont was getting ready to serve, but it's the team that's trailing that serves first. Brosier.
He's going to have to implement his best crocodile moves to take a chomp out of this 5-0 head start.
Let's see what he did there.
That's 0-5.
To let replay the point. We have seen 5-0 deficits overcome twice so far.
You have to wonder, though, whether the Crocs are in form today enough to pull something like that off. I mean, if they can, pretty phenomenal. And they may very well be shooting themselves in the foot for not grabbing one extra game in the singles.
Good stuff from Brosier. With a 5-0 lead at the start, if we did get to 20 all, it would be the ladies, Hong Lin and Matilda Ekholm, that would play the ultimate golden point.
It clips the edge. Brosier just off to an outstanding start there.
Well, some confusion about who won that point. That looked like it clipped.
Definitely clipped the table.
I can't understand the language.
Brosier is correct. The angle he's hitting from the center of the table, it's...
They're giving the point to Carolina.
Here.
It's 100%. 100% Brosier's point. You cannot hit the side of the table from an angle so far inside.
Frank Arias with his arms out, not understanding why. And Brosier still hasn't left the table. Brosier's waiting for the Gold Rush to say, yeah, you deserve that point, and they're not giving it to him.
That is, there's no possibility that can touch the side. It is 100% top of the table.
So it should be 5-3.
It absolutely should be 5-3. That is a...
Brosier fantasy owners might storm the table. Hang on a second.
Sure, do I go now? Is that my cue?
Wow. Really has been Carolina's day.
Brosier is going to be baffled by that decision. That's definitely one of the, yeah. Well, it's not a good umpiring call, but Crocs have got to try and soldier on.
How much is it? Obviously, the umpires got it wrong. How much are you disappointed in Carolina for not saying that it should have? I mean, did the Gold Rush have a responsibility, whether it's Dupont or someone on the bench?
You know what? Like, if it's a close call, then you could almost understand. But it's bizarre to me that Brosier was totally correct. To hit the ball from almost the center of the table, how can you hit the side? He was just flabbergasted that, you know, that the players that were out there and the umpires weren't backing him up.
Meanwhile, taking the table at 6-2 instead of 5-3, Enzo Anglas leaves little doubt, winning 4 straight points against Daniel Gonzalez. See if Gorak can string anything together. There's the first point for Daniel.
Roman has been a force to be reckoned with for the Carolina Gold Rush. And
he's had a great weekend, 6-3 in singles. Played well in the Golden Games. Well, 12-3, no matter where you look.
Roman over the table, forehand dominant.
3 out of 4 for Roman. Let's go back to the controversial call. This is the defining angle for Benjamin Brosier.
Just look at it's almost the center line of the table. That is 100% top, without any shadow of a doubt.
And a double bounce for Hazine on a little dropper. One of the most lopsided matches and lopsided Golden Games. Surprising to see for a Florida team that had been as good as anybody in the league this season.
Yeah, things just haven't gone their way today. And momentum-wise, I mean, the Carolina players are looking unbelievably sharp out there today.
Entering this weekend, their only Golden Game loss was a Golden Game that Ojo was not active for. There's at least one common thread.
Hazine just threads the needle.
He has been a breakout star for Carolina today. 3-0 sweep over Gonzalez in singles, and then taking 3 out of 4 over Mark Duran. Hong Lin cannot finish it herself here, but she can get pretty darn close.
Strong anchor for the Carolina Gold Rush. Showing why the team has been able to rely on, put its trust in her.
Over and over again, you're absolutely right.
And she just has such a rich background in the sport at the highest levels of the game.
Macomb does manage to earn the split.
Brosier is going to come back out here again. He's going to have to forget what happened on the last occasion.
Crocs are only 3 golden sweeps away from tying this thing up. 18-16. 18-6, I should say, now 19-6. Bastion, the only member of Carolina's team that did not win his individual singles or doubles match, but he could win the Golden Game.
Brosier certainly has a point to prove here.
It's been the standout for the Crocs. Otherwise, frustrating day at the office. So Dupont creates Golden Game point. They've already clinched the match, but this could match the biggest win in MLTT history.
He won't get it. Brosier brings the ball back.
Justice for Benjamin Brosier.
I mean, he's really been the star performer for the Crocs. And what is usually a really strong team lineup, Brosier has kind of stood out head and shoulders above his teammates in this matchup.
Gonzalez didn't score against Enzo earlier this game. And he's not going to here. Enzo doesn't even need to hit the ball. Gonzalez flips his paddle in the air in frustration, and Carolina makes a convincing statement to finish this Chicago weekend. 18-3 over the Florida Crocs.
Just a solid effort from the Carolina Gold Rush. They will be absolutely thrilled with that to finally solidify their position at the top of the table. And just throughout the individual matches, the singles, the doubles in particular, a very lopsided affair for the Carolina Gold Rush, and to come in here and sweep that Golden Game, got to feel pretty satisfying against a team like the Florida Crocs.
All smiles for Enzo. He got 3 points in singles, 3 points in doubles. He was 5 for 5 in the Golden Game. What a performance from the Carolina Gold Rush. Alex Yang, I'm sure you expected to win today. I can't imagine you expected to win 18-3.
Yeah, it's a surprise. After I see the lineup for the opponents, I think we have more chance to win because Ojo didn't play. The last 2 times we lost because Ojo played. So also all the team play fantastic. Also the lucky is from us, you know.
And for you, it must have been such a big relief for you to be in a position where actually whatever happened in the Golden game, of course, getting the points is great, but to lock in the victory before the Golden game went down, how did that feel for you and the team?
It's this major league. It's not about win or lose. Try to get most points. I told all the players we have to get more points and make the distance between first and second.
We're going to chat with Romain Laurence in a second. What can you say about his weekend? He went 6-3 in singles, coming from behind to win on the Golden Point in his third game against Marc Duran. What stood out to you about the way Romain played?
Romain played fantastic because also he went to France. He played one match French league against LeBron, Felix LeBron. He almost got him, though I feel Romain will play very good this weekend.
What's the feeling heading into the crossover weekend when you'll see Portland and Seattle and Texas and the Bay Area for the first time in just a few weeks?
I saw the lineup. I was a little surprised. A lot of good players didn't show. I think they will conflict with the World Cup in China. So this match is we try to win most if we can.
Very good. Great job today, Alex. Congrats, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you in Rock Hill in December.
Okay, thank you very much.
Alex Yang. He's pretty even-keeled, maintains his focus. But this was a brilliant performance from Carolina, both individually and collectively, and Romain Laurence certainly at the heart of that. Romain, how pleased are you with what you were able to do on the table this weekend?
Yeah, that's a very good weekend for us. Of course, with 3 victories, we cannot expect better results, especially today with 18-3. Yeah, everything was in our side this weekend, and hopefully we can continue like this in the upcoming weeks.
I know you say for us and you're focused on the team, but what about for you? I mean, to get the win over Damien yesterday and Marc today, what were you most proud about the way you played?
I'm proud about my fighting spirit. I mean, I didn't play my best table tennis today, especially against Marc. I lost 3-0 last week. I mean, 1 month ago, and today I was down 1-0 with a really bad start. And I keep fighting. I keep fighting for every point. I know the key was service and receive, and somehow I get better and better receive. And still, at the end, I was fighting even when the score was 6-10.
Now, you've been based on the East Coast, up in New York, while you've been here in the U.S. Haven't played so many tournaments out west. How are you feeling about this crossover division next month and the opportunity to play some of these West Coast players like Tao Wen-Zhang and Cole?
Yeah, actually very exciting. Yeah, the crossover will be exciting. We don't really know what to expect about the West Coast team. Of course, we know most of the players, but I didn't play so much against them. So it will be, of course, very tough and very interesting weekend.
Romain, congrats on a great performance today and all weekend long. We'll see you in South Carolina 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, see you there.
Thank you. Romain Laurence gets the job done. And think about this, the Carolina Gold Rush, obviously 3-team matches this weekend, 21 points available. They could have won a maximum of 63 points this weekend. They got 46 of the possible 63 points that they could get. And regardless of what happens coming up with Chicago and Princeton, Carolina has a healthy lead as we head toward Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this matchup for them and their kind of constant battle to try and push ahead of the Crocs at the top of the table, incredibly decisive. And to hold that lead now, it's going to be a tough ask for the Crocs or either of the other teams to push back against them here.
Interesting, too, that Alex Yang mentions Ojo's absence as being a factor. Certainly felt like the Crocs missed his energy. We'll see how the lineup evolves going forward. Carolina in this first place showdown gets it done and then some. They clinch the match before the Golden Game, and they run away with a Golden Game as well. Take the Golden 21-8. Take the overall match 18-3, matching the biggest win in MLTT history. We still got one more team match coming up. It is Princeton and Chicago about an hour from now. But for the moment, we say goodbye. For Matt, I'm Evan. We'll talk to you soon.